Hello brothers and sisters, welcome to another episode here on Dangerous African Confessions HD. In this episode, we have a story from our brother who has been through something I don't wish for anyone to go through. And he wants to share this experience with us. Our brother tells us how he met this beautiful lady who he fell in love with. When he had been posted to go and teach in a village after his teacher training. This love that they shared turned out to be his biggest darkest moment of his life. His girlfriend died and he was asked by the family to wed her and sleep in the same room with the dead body. Will he be able or was he able to go through with it? And what happened if he went through with the rituals? Without wasting much of your time, let us go and listen to what really happened to our beloved brother. Don't forget to please subscribe, share and like our videos. Kindly hit the notification bell so you will be the first to get notification to our videos when we upload.
Hello brother, I really hope everything is fine with you. My name is Anekai, and I have a story that will chew you to the bone. It is about my life and the things that I was lied to do in order to bring back my love from the dead. Why am I telling you this chapter of my life that whenever I recall the memories, I go into a state that I have no words to describe? It all started 18 years ago in Ghana, when I found myself in a situation that I never could have imagined in my wildest dreams. You see, I live a very simple and modest life. And in my life, I have tried everything that I know of, to live a life not to hurt any living being on this planet. Because to me, what you wouldn't like to be done to you, you shouldn't do to any other person. I got to a stage in my life when I fell deeply in love with my girlfriend, Abina. We met in a small village in Ghana, where her family had recently moved. I went there as a teacher, who has been posted there after graduating from the teacher training school from the city. I didn't have any family here, and I was all by myself. You know, as the saying goes, man must chop. So, I had no reasons or whatsoever not to go ahead to work here in this village. In this village is where I met this beautiful lady I am talking about. This is her hometown and most of her family members are here. Honestly, I cannot tell why they did moved from the city to the village. All I cared about was that I had met someone that I love. Abina's laughter was like music to my ears, and her smile could light up the darkest of days. We quickly became inseparable, spending every moment we could together. Our future seemed bright, and I couldn't imagine life without her. She was spending most of her days at my place. Some of her family members knew that there was something going on between us. And for that reason, I didn't mind leaving my room to her whenever I leave for school. But one day, tragedy struck. Abina was in my room when she told me that she was not feeling well. She then told me she was going home to see if she would be able to get medicine. She returned by saying that there was no one in the house. So, I took her to a local medicine center and bought some medicine for her. We got back and she took the medication and she slept. That was it. Abina passed away suddenly just like that. I had gone out to get food later after she slept. When I brought the food, I wanted to wake her up so we can eat together. That was when I got to know that she was dead. I called and called, but she was not responding to my calling. I touched her and I felt she was a bit cold. I raised her hand up, and it fell just right back. I was devastated, my world shattered into a million pieces. I didn't know what to do next. So I called my landlord and told him what was happening to Abina. He rushed into my room and then asked me to call and look for a cab. We rushed her to the hospital, thinking maybe she had just passed out. My landlord accompanied me to her family house and we told the father about what has happened. He rushed to the hospital together with my landlord. My landlord asked me to go back home and wait for them. I started to pray for God to take me out of the mess I was in. Even though I was praying and hoping for a miracle, some part of me was telling me that she is dead. My landlord came later in the day and told me that she was dead. How? The pain was unbearable, and I felt lost without her by my side. I couldn't imagine a life without Abina, and the grief threatened to consume me. My landlord later in the evening asked me if I knew the tribe that Abina belongs. When I told her about their tribe, he was quiet for some time. I asked him why he was so quiet. He didn't say the reason, but asked me to go inside my room and pack my things. He told me to run from the village. Other than that, they will make me go through a lot rituals that I might not be able to survive it. I went inside and packed my belongings. Just as I opened the door to go to my landlord and tell him I was ready to leave, some group of men came and asked me to follow them to Abina's family house. My landlord also followed us to the house. At the house, I was asked if I had come to the family to seek for Abina's hand in marriage. I said no, and I was preparing to come, and this thing has happened. They told me that, since I have not come to pay for her dowry and she was performing duties as a wife to me, I will have to wed her dead body before they will bury her. One woman who was very old among them said, if I am able to leave after the ritual to go and tell my story, they will wait and see. They were the type that do not put their dead people in the mortuary. So, I was told that they will be preparing her body for the marriage ceremony the next day. And for that reason, I was to be taken to a place where Abina's body was lying down. There was this other house that belonged to them. That is where the body was. And I was to be in the same room with the body till they come for the body to prepare her. I saw my landlord shed tears for me. He looked at me whilst I was taken away. There was nothing that he could do for me. I realized that. In the midst of my grief, when I was in the house, waiting for whoever would come and put me in the room, a group of mysterious individuals came to the house and came straight to me. They claimed to have a way to bring Abina back to life, but the price was beyond anything I could have imagined. They told me that if I wanted to save my own life from the hands of the family of Abina, I had to wed Abina's lifeless body and spend the night with her before her own family will come and do their rituals. They said that, if the family do their own rituals, there is no way I will live 1 week after the ritual. I was going to follow Abina to the other world. That was the essence of the ritual the family will be carrying out. I was horrified, sickened by the idea of desecrating Abina's memory in such a grotesque manner. But the fear of losing my own life clouded my judgment, and I agreed to their twisted demands. I couldn't bear the thought of living without Abina, and the desperation drove me to make a decision that would haunt me for the rest of my days. That night was a living nightmare. I stood before Abina's lifeless form, feeling a mixture of revulsion and despair. As I performed the ritual, I could hear her voice in my head, begging me to stop, to let her rest in peace. But I was trapped in a web of darkness, unable to break free. After the very rituals were done for me by these people told me that they were going to let me loose so that I would escape Abina's family. I asked them why she was not awake from the dead. They told me not to worry, by the time the family would get there, I shouldn't be there, or else they fear what the family might do to me. So they helped me escape from the house. I rushed to go to my landlord and told him about my escape. He gave me some money to use when I get to a place where I can get a car. That was how I escaped from the hands of these people. What happened to Abina, whether she came back to life just like they were saying or not, I couldn't tell. When morning came, I was filled with a deep sense of shame and regret. I had betrayed Abina's memory in the most heinous way possible, all in a futile attempt to save my own skin. The guilt weighed heavily on my soul, and I knew that I had committed an unforgivable sin. 3 days later, because I had my landlord's number, I called him and wanted to find out if Abina had gotten back to life like the guys told me. He didn't understand why I was asking him that. I narrated everything that happened in the house to him. That was when he told me that it could have been these ritualist people who may have been looking for some sort of rituals in order to get their money. And they saw an opportunity and used me and Abina to make that ritual. When told me this, I needed to find ways I could fight for my soul. If truly I have been used for rituals, I searched for these white garment prophets to help me with the cleansing and redeeming myself from the hands of the wicked one. As the years passed, the guilt continued to weigh heavily on my soul. I couldn't shake the feeling that I had committed an unforgivable sin, one that would haunt me for the rest of my days. I struggled to find peace, haunted by the memory of that fateful night. But now, I am breaking my silence and sharing this story with you all. I want to warn others about the dangers of blind desperation and the lengths that some will go to in the name of survival. Please, learn from my mistake. Cherish your loved ones while they are still with you, and never let fear drive you to commit unspeakable acts. And above all, remember that true love transcends even death itself. Thank you for listening to my confession. May my story serve as a cautionary tale for all who hear it. I know that what I did was unforgivable, but I'm hoping that by sharing my story and working towards helping others, I can find some semblance of forgiveness for myself. Every day, I carry Abina's memory with me, striving to honor her in every way possible. She was a light in my life, and I want to ensure that her legacy lives on in a positive way. One thing has become abundantly clear: the power of love is immeasurable. It can drive us to do incredible things, but can also lead us down dark paths if we do not take care. I've learned many valuable lessons throughout this journey. One of the most important is that we must always strive to make decisions based on love rather than fear. Despite the darkness that once consumed me, I'm now filled with hope for the future. By sharing my story, I hope to prevent others from making the same mistakes I did. To anyone who may be facing difficult circumstances or feeling overwhelmed by fear, please know that there is always hope. There are people who care about you and want to help you through whatever challenges you may be facing. I'm working towards forgiving myself for the choices I made in desperation. It's a difficult journey, but one that I'm determined to undertake. Every day that I wake up is a gift. It's a reminder of the preciousness of life and the importance of cherishing every moment we have with our loved ones. To everyone listening to me, please remember that love is the most powerful force in the universe. Let it guide your actions and decisions, even in the darkest of times. Thank you for listening to my story. It's been an incredibly difficult journey, but by sharing it with all of you, I hope to prevent others from falling into the same trap of desperation that once ensnared me. Remember, love conquers all, even in the face of death itself.
Don't forget to please subscribe, share and like our videos. Kindly hit the notification bell so you will be the first to get notification to our videos when we upload. Like I always say, these are not just stories for story's sake. They are meant for us not to make these mistakes our brothers and sisters are making. That's why we share these stories with you. Sometimes some of these stories comes in as a shock to us. Because, how can you tell your fellow human being to wed a dead body and sleep with it on top of whatever you might have asked him to go through? I am borrowing his own message: please, be careful about the dangers of blind desperation and the lengths that some will go to in the name of survival. Please, learn from his mistake. Also, he made a very great point. He said, cherish your loved ones while they are still with you, and never let fear drive you to commit unspeakable acts. And above all, remember that true love transcends even death itself. We should always know that the power of love is immeasurable. It can drive us to do incredible things but can also lead us down dark paths if we do not take care. We must always strive to make decisions based on love rather than fear. I hope his story will prevent others from making the same mistakes he did. I pray that we learn from some of these stories and live a better life. If not for anything at all, it pays to live a decent and better life. Please let us hear your thoughts in the comment section. Stay blessed and be safe. Thanks for being a part of this growing family. And if you are new here, please subscribe, like and share.